Good afternoon and welcome to the Happy Half Hour. I'm Leigh Kubin, Master Certified Life Coach and Weight Loss Coach.
I'm Sandra Priestley. I'm a leadership coach for female entrepreneurs, and I am a feng shui practitioner. Hi, hi. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday.
Okay, I gotta show you.
Yeah.
Normally, when we come on this podcast, I already have my drink poured.
Yes.
But you will not see the coolness that is of this thing that I just purchased. Like, is this not the cutest little bottle ever?
I love it.
I know. Look, polka
Is it a
dots on
rosé?
it. It is. It is called. It is a Lolea Mediterranean aperitif, and it is hibiscus and ginger. It's a product of Spain. I think it is like a sangria, and there was a white sangria and a red sangria, and this one does not say sangria, but it was with the other two. This one is rosé, hibiscus and ginger.
Interesting.
Like,
You haven't tasted it yet.
I have not tasted it, so
Is it chilled?
yeah.
Okay.
Flavored wine-based beverage. Return. Okay. I don't know. So let's see. Let's see what it. I'm gonna put it over ice. It's not chilled, but I'm gonna put it over ice.
Okay.
So I'm gonna see what it tastes like. But like the bottle was just so super cool, and it
That
has
is a
this
badass
like
bottle.
right. I know.
Listen to our sound.
I know. I like that too. It's so super cool. And then it has this like, topper thing on it. Anyway, I think it's so super neat. So I'm going to let's just try it.
Yes.
Oh,
Yum.
yum.
Send me a picture of that bottle. I'll see if we have it at Total Wine.
Okay. Holy shit. It's from Calgary, Alberta. It's wine and what does it say? Okay, so it's made in Spain, but imported for Christopher Stewart Wine and Spirits, Calgary, Alberta. How freaking cool is that?
That is pretty freaking cool.
Okay, what are you drinking?
Well, I was like, I'm just going to drink water. Like, I've got so much stuff to do when we get done with this podcast. I'm going to have some tropical water.
Oh,
And then
cool.
I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, you're going to sit down and have a 30-minute conversation with your friend. Pour something.
Drink some shit.
Like, yeah.
Did you grab a can? Did you grab a can of something?
Okay, here's a funny story. Is I went to the patio refrigerator because the kids keep stuff out there. Like, shit we won't drink.
Yeah.
So I'm like, surely there's something besides beer. And there was. But it was Malibu rum. And and then I thought it'd be funny to drink it on the show, like, oh, let's see who shows up. And then I thought, I have too much to do tonight. I don't have time to be bitchy.
I want to see Rum Lee. I think this would be fun.
Maybe one night when there's nothing else going on.
Our 100th episode.
Okay,
our 100th episode. That's what we're doing.
Well, we're having some Dom.
Oh yeah, we're having Dom.
Okay. Okay, so I got the Catch Fire out, and this is the apple cinnamon whiskey.
Oh,
that my mother loves. And
just plain old ice.
I got a big cube, but it kind of melted.
Badass.
We've been talking too long.
Yeah, we have been. Okay. What happened with you?
Damn, that is really good. Yeah. I haven't had it since we had it on the last show, whenever, months ago.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. What happened to what?
What happened for you this week?
Oh, gosh.
Anything cool?
A lot of cool. Well, let me tell you, I've been a little bit in resistance mode.
I am the queen.
I'm
the queen of it.
The past couple of weeks, there's like resistance and then release and resistance and release. Just I can feel it in my body, and there's a lot changing. Let's go back to January and look at everything just from a feng shui perspective.
Okay.
That has changed in every single area of my house. I painted most of my bathroom, ran out of paint. But we still have some sanding to do because there are some spots that you can still see the crackle through. um, but that's okay. It is, we're working on it. But anyway, so I've been really battling the whole resistance thing, and opportunities are showing up, and then the fear sets in, and well, what if this, and what if this, all this second, when the universe is like handing it to me going, do this roadmap, do this, do
Yeah.
this, do this, do this, don't do this, avoid this. And it's just so interesting, that response, that, what is the word, it just happens, autopilot.
Oh,
That's where
yeah.
you just gravitate towards, okay, what's going to go wrong here, instead of just getting excited about what's going to go right. So there's been a lot of that going on. And when I get like that, Paul's going, do you want to play pool? Because he can
Oh,
see it in me.
cool.
Like either
So
that or,
just sort of like pattern interrupt.
yes. Do you want to play pool? Do you want to play music? Do you want to go get in the pool? But there's something, and when we're in the pool, we are relaxing, floating.
Right.
And when we're playing music, I do totally get in the vortex, but we're not talking.
Right.
But it still is good for us both. But when we play pool, we get in the vortex and we talk. And we're playing, and there's this shot that is not possible. Like, but there's nothing, it's a whole bunch of balls scattered. And then there's one, and it's in between two. So I've got to push the ball right perfectly so it doesn't hit either one of these balls.
Right.
And I'm like, I can move some balls, or I can take a shot, like an intentional shot. And it takes me a minute, and then I'm getting all, and he's just kind of standing there watching. And I hit this ball, and it goes perfectly, and then it gets hooked on the rim of, instead of going in.
Oh, the
But
bucket.
it was that close. So when I missed it, it wasn't a like, fuck moment. It was like, did you see how badass that was? Like, it, I can practice that, and I can do that because I've seen how close I've come. And it hit me. It was like, in life, we don't have the bird's eye view. We don't see all the moving parts and the easiest path. We're on the ground in the middle of it all. And there are some times in life that we take those shots and we almost are there. But because we don't make it, we stop and go, well, you're not good at that. You need to abandon ship. This is not for you. Go be safe over there. Instead of going, I almost fucking did. Like, I almost fucking did that. I can do that. We just throw in the towel. And
And especially with pool, there's always like a, not always, but there's like a hard shot that would be super badass. And then
yes,
there's another one that you could take that would be safe, and it might not be the best one, but it would be
I
like
gotta
the
set
safe
you up to hit the
one.
next one. It's, yeah,
Right? You know, you're going to get it in the pocket and you'll worry about this later, and you just do what's safe and what you know and what you're good at.
yes,
But then if you never take a risk of that long shot, you're never going to know if you'll ever be able to do it. Like you just
right.
play safe, you play small,
Yeah.
right?
And then you say, oh, I could never do that. So your mind doesn't even go there.
Right.
And just like in pool, and it's easy to do in pool, right? Because you don't lose. I mean, you might lose the game, but you don't die.
Yeah, yeah.
But in life, we calculate, what if I don't make it? What if this happens? What about this person? And we do all these calculations and then decide, yeah, that shot's not worth it. And sometimes it is. And I don't think always it is,
No,
but
but I also think in life, we make it mean something about ourselves.
yes.
And for the majority of people, we don't make a game of pool or the shots that we make mean anything about ourselves other than that it's just fun, right? Like some people, highly competitive people, or really maybe even insecure people who feel insecure with the people that they're playing might think, oh, I suck and this is brutal. Like they might go there. But for the majority of the people, it's like, oh, I tried that, it didn't work. Okay, let's go again, right?
Yeah.
And, or, wow, that was super cool. Could you imagine if that would have gone in?
Yeah.
Like,
Or when it
next time
does.
I'm going to do that again. I'm going to try it again. Like, what other cool shot can I try now?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And to think if we showed up in life like that, and not to be stupid about it, but
Mm-hmm.
if we showed up every day going, what the fuck am I going to create today?
Right?
Like,
I
oh,
know.
what's out there?
Yeah.
Instead of, oh my God, the same thing every day,
Yeah.
you know?
Oh, I love it. I
Uh-huh.
love your pool analogies.
Yeah, it
Everything is
is,
so much like life, though, right?
it
Like, that's
is.
what I love about us.
Mhm.
And I think I've said this before, but it's like because we see the meaning in like
Yeah.
everything can be a lesson for us in life, right?
Hmm.
Um, oh man, this week for me has been like massive resistance too, because I actually am not going to go there yet. I'm going to talk about a post that I wrote because that kind of
Oh,
goes with, yeah, it kind of goes with your pool analogy. I
okay.
wrote this post and it started out and it said 18.95, and it was $18.95 to monthly to be a Beachbody coach. That's how much my monthly fee was to be a Beachbody coach, and I don't know if it's gone up since. This was like, I don't know, 8 years ago. And I swear, at the time I was making probably $85,000 a year. And I swear I thought, can I afford that? And what's interesting is like I had such like, well, it's $18.95. Here's the thing, I probably spent more than that at Starbucks that fucking morning.
Right.
And I probably spend that several times a month at Starbucks, right? Like, and it was interesting to sit as an observer now because it had nothing to do with the 1895, and it had everything to do with, am I willing to take this shot and possibly
Oh,
fail? Like,
wow.
I had yeah, $18. Like I could piss away $18 at the car wash. Like,
Right.
and or on I don't know. I mean, like, really, it was $18.95, but it was somehow attached to, do I want to try this and potentially fail? It was about the risk that I was willing to take on myself and fail and feel bad about myself and make it mean that I was a failure. That's what it was about. It had
Oh,
nothing to do with anything else. And
yes, we
so
do
in
that.
we totally do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I see women who are truly like, they want to level up, but they're not willing to invest in themselves. And it isn't about the money.
Mm-mm.
Because I could say I'm going to coach someone for $25, which is not what I charge. But I could say I'm going to coach for someone for $25 and they're going to go, "Ooh, $25, I don't know."
Hmm. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then they're going to turn around and go to the booze store and spend $300 because it's July 1st weekend and they got to
Right.
stock up.
Right.
Or go to, I don't know, like takeout meal for supper that has no ability to change your life,
Hmm.
probably.
Hmm.
And you spend $100, which is way more than what you would spend on yourself to grow.
Yeah.
But it's scary as fuck
Hmm.
to sometimes do that because it's like you don't want to waste, you think, I don't want to waste that money. I
Then you're
wasted
not ready.
1895.
Yeah. Then you're not ready.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like you're holding yourself back because you don't trust yourself. You don't feel like you deserve it. You don't want to invest in yourself, or you're scared you're going to fail.
Hmm.
And when you finally do invest, it's like you understand that you're worth it. you bet on yourself and you think, I'm going to go all in no matter what.
Hmm.
And then you, I got Siri talking in my ear.
Oh,
Sorry. But then it's like, that's when the shifts start to happen, right? And so I went from not wanting to invest 1895 to then investing more and investing more and investing more, because I started to see that I was growing because of it, and I was
yeah.
starting to trust in myself.
Yes. It is interesting when
So
you start investing that way, the money just sort of shows up.
So, what I recognized in myself though was this like, as I started to trust myself, I started to spend more money and invest in myself more. And I trusted, I was willing to go deeper every single time.
Hmm.
So, I mean, I think I've talked about this before. Like, now I will invest almost six figures. Like my coach in Canadian money was $73,000. Like, and it was a bit of a pinch, but it was an investment to me, like RRSPs or like
Okay, I've got a
buying silver
question.
and gold. Yeah,
So you were concerned about
right.
$18.95 a month,
Uh huh.
yet you were willing to spend $72,000 in Canadian.
Right.
Okay.
This was years ago, though. Look at how much I've like evolved, right?
But
Like this was years ago because initially,
you don't have the
1890.
shortage issues anymore.
Right.
You let
Right.
that go.
I let that go. I
Yeah.
let that go. Now it's like I'm worth it. And I also think like, what is my ROI? Like, what is my return on investment? What is possible for me?
Hmm.
Whether it's like being happier, being healthier, being, um, you know, whatever it happens to be, being more successful in business, marketing myself better. Like, it doesn't really matter what it is to me. It's like I can see the ROI of the investment and I can see the potential. Versus before, it was like I saw the potential of failure. It was like I wasn't going to take that shot.
Yeah.
And I didn't look at, but what is the possible outcome here?
Yeah. What could be?
Right? So this, like, I've worked with Jana now for, I don't know, maybe 7 months. And we've really kind of like been working through all of these limiting beliefs and all of the things and just kind of like figuring out like how I work the way I work and is my own what is like my me brand. She calls it a me brand, but like what is my brand to me? Like how am I different and. And so we were talking about pricing. And I like I'm kind of probably fun to coach too because like I do the digging behind the scenes, and then when it comes to a coaching call I'm like, guess what just fucking showed up for me, right? So on the coaching call I'm like, okay, you know what I realized is I don't charge at all like I invest.
Oh,
So I
yeah.
trust in me, but I don't get people to trust in them to that degree.
Hmm.
And so she said to me, why? In this long text, right? Why? They're like the zillion whys. And then she said, no, seriously, this is an honest question. Why? Like, why do you not charge the way you buy? And I sat there for a moment. This was just prior to our call. We were kind of working through it. And I sat there for a moment and I said, oh, well, my human wants to cancel our call tonight, quit my fucking business, and go and crawl into a closet and curl up and sit there and hide. So I know we're digging at something.
Hmm.
And it was so incredible to sit in this like state of observing how I wanted to react, my autopilot, how I wanted to react.
Bird's eye view
Bird's
at
eye
that
view.
moment.
That's exactly. It
Hmm.
was like, huh, well, this is fucking interesting response you've got, Sandra Priestley.
Hmm. Yeah.
Right? It was like, and I knew I was crying and I was like, it was like that story that I told way long ago on I don't know how many podcasts ago where I said, like, it was something my grade 4 teacher had told me, and I was on the bottom of the shower crying in the fetal position, just like I was in grade 4 again. Like I cried like I didn't allow myself to cry in that moment because I didn't cry. I was like, you did not say that. How awful. But like I didn't cry in that moment, and I went through all the emotions as though I was that age,
Wow.
9 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
It was like I just brought up that trauma and then released it. But it was holding me back, and so has this one been.
Mm.
It was holding me back, and I mean it brought up all of these things of worthiness, and it brought up all these things of like making sure that I was worth the money that I was charging.
Mm.
And it brought up all of these things about like how, I wasn't able to, like, no matter how much I tried, no matter what I said, no matter what I did, I couldn't make my dad stop drinking. And that was at the core of all of it. Like, how? Because at the end of the day, he's got to want to stop drinking. No matter what I say, if the student is not ready, right?
Yeah.
He wasn't paying me, by the way. He was not paying me for coaching. But it was like I was trying so hard to get him out of it. I could see, and I just wanted to say the right thing so that he stopped.
Hmm.
And it was this thing that was holding me back that I did not want to look at. Right? The mind is such an
I
incredible
know.
thing.
What
But
area of your house have you been working in?
actually health.
Okay.
I've been working in health.
Okay.
Did I do any other
I
changes?
just asked because it sounds like a shift, like something shifted.
Oh, total shift, total shift. But no, I haven't really been because I've kind of worked through my house
Maybe
now.
it's just the coaching.
Well, it was me for sure digging at it, right? Like it
Yeah.
was me digging at it for sure. And it was me like being willing to look at whatever it was that was dark,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I saw a post from Abraham yesterday or the day before, and it was talking about looking at traumas of the past, like trying to heal childhood trauma
Oh,
is like going back to that place and living there. Um, okay, so it's not good or bad, it just is.
mm-hmm.
And if you want, and sometimes it's necessary, like you've
Mm-hmm.
got to go back. Um, the girl that I was talking about last week that had the dad that told her she needed to, she was too fat or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, she was talking about that this week. Like, how do I heal with my dad? Do I need to go back there
Mm-hmm.
and relive? And I'm like, well, do you want to, or do you just like understanding his story
Yeah.
will understand his behavior? And
Right.
when you understand where he came from, the things he said and did will be like, oh, well, of course he did.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's enough. Sometimes you don't have to go relive the whole experience.
And and that's the thing. Like I had a client of mine one time. She was a PhD social worker, and she said trauma therapy is hard on the soul.
Mm.
And it resonated with me so much. And I was one that said, I was the one that was going against all this shadow work, like stop digging at stuff. Like, why can't you just like what do you want to create instead of living in the past? But I do believe that when these things come up, they come up in the right time, in divine right order,
Yeah.
in order for us to release them. And so for me, I another friend of mine actually, he used to say, when you make it known to the universe, it ceases to be a problem.
Mhm.
And that's kind of how I felt. It was like, oh, wait a minute. I'm resisting moving because I'm scared of this. I'm resisting paying this amount of money because I'm fearful of that. But
And
that's
then
illogical,
you can clean it up at that point
right?
and
And
understand it and let it go.
exactly. So it wasn't like I was going to live in trauma for the next 6 months. It wasn't that I was going to hold on to it. It was like, oh, wait a minute. And there was this moment where I was like wanting to hide in the closet and like burn everything to the ground, that I thought to myself, here we go. Here's some magic. And previously, before I would have probably gone, this is too hard, right? I don't want to do this. I don't want to, like, this is too hard. But now it's like, oh, this is an interesting response.
Yeah.
Let's see what this is, the root of this. And so then
Mhm.
when I could find it, it was truly like the four agreements. Like, you believe something that you believe until you choose a different belief.
Right. Yeah.
That's totally what it was. It wasn't like I had to go and like relive it and do like, um, a ton of therapy on it. I didn't have to go through it and through it and through it and through it until it didn't matter to me.
Yeah.
Like, all it really was just this moment of shit. That's what was holding me back.
Mhm.
That's interesting. When this shit comes up again, I'm going to know where it is coming from. And my coach is just like, the way through this is to win in spite of it, right? Like, it's
Yeah.
like, so the way to like truly heal that trauma is to prove that it was not correct,
That
to
it's a
prove that
lie.
belief was a lie.
Yeah. We
And so,
make things mean the most ridiculous things ever.
right. I know. So anyway,
Yeah.
it was like, it was so good. It was so, so, so good. And I really just sat in this space of like,
Mhm.
now let's fucking go. Like, it's like, I've been calling this lately to my clients. It's like, we've got let's fucking go energy.
Yeah.
Instead of the resistance, instead of the fear, instead of
Mhm.
it's like, ooh, okay, let's fucking go.
Yeah. That's why I poured whiskey today instead of water.
Right. Anyway, so that was my week. That has been like just the beginning of my week. And it's just felt so good
Mhm.
to make that known and to release it.
So thank you guys for joining us this Thursday for the Happy Half Hour. We hope you have a great week and we will see you next Thursday. Bye.
Bye.